Ahoy, shipmates. Busy in port this morning. Some pleasure boats. There's the Queen Mary 2, just came in this morning. There's a little interesting cargo vessel, the red one there. It's called Keith. But that's not what I wanted to hear for. Thought we'd have a look at the CMA CGM Jules Verne. Now, it's a lovely bright and sunny day this morning, but surprisingly, it's actually quite windy. Certainly at altitude here, it is very breezy. You may be able to notice that the drone is at an angle trying to cope with the high-speed wind at altitude. You can see in this sped-up bit of footage here the patterns over the water of the gusts. Well, I feel a photo opportunity coming up. It looks like the Jules Verne is going to have its photo next to Keith. Very nice indeed. Keith looking rather resplendent with that red hull. Keith is busy loading up pleasure boats to take to a destination unknown. The CMA CGM Jules Verne was originally going to be called the Zheng He, named after a Chinese explorer. But she was renamed the Jules Verne. Rather amusingly, she's left the container port only 2 hours later to be replaced by the Zheng He. Originally, when first launched, one of the largest container ships in the world, at 16,020 TEUs. But alas, today, she doesn't even figure in the top 15. Such is the rapid pace of container ship growth. As you can see now, she's started to pull past the Queen Mary 2. She came in earlier this morning. Now, by comparison to the Queen Mary 2, the Jules Verne is quite a few metres longer, coming in at 396 metres. The Queen Mary 2 is no small ship. I find it's interesting to have this size comparison, the ships next to each other. I think I'll get a snap in here. Very pleasing arrangement of colourful containers on the front of the Jules Verne. The Jules Verne has a beam of 51 metres and a draft of 16. Powered by a single 80,000 kilowatt engine. Single propeller with a fixed pitch and a speed somewhere in the region of 25 knots or 46 kilometres an hour, 29 miles per hour, which is very impressive considering the size of the ship. Approximately 175,000 gross tons. This class of ship is known as the Explorer class, and they're all named after figures from French history. Time for another photo in here. Now you can see the Jules Verne, the Queen Mary 2, Keith, and the Queen Victoria in the very background. Of course, you're all familiar with Jules Verne, the famous French writer. Some of his best-selling books were The Journey to the Centre of the Earth, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and Around the World in 80 Days. Suspecting, though, that the Jules Verne can get around the world quicker than 80 days, especially with a top speed of 29 miles per hour. Let's catch one more shot in here. You almost don't get any idea of the size of the ships when they're on the water. Unless you're standing near them, you've got something for scale. You just realise quite how large they are. Jules Verne is the second most translated author in the world. Ranks between Agatha Christie and William Shakespeare. Now, the Jules Verne needed tug assistance to ease away from the dockside and to swing around. And then as soon as she gets to about where we are now, the tugs release their lines and she proceeds under her own power. With vessels of this scale and lack of manoeuvrability, a clear channel policy is often implemented, suggesting that all other large vessels should make way. And the other large vessel that will be making way will be the CMA. She's just in the nab anchorage, waiting for her sister ship to go by before she can come in. Capacity on board the CMA is the same as Jules Verne, that's 16,020 TEUs, 20-foot equivalent units. That's an awful lot of televisions and mobile phones arriving from the Far East, I would imagine. And perhaps the odd jar of Marmite on its way to the rest of the world. Well, I think it's probably time for one last photo here. Certainly takes a long time to go past. There we go. One for the scrapbook. Well, till next time, shipmates.